On table 1, we opt to call here. This is a really interesting situation. So let's think first of all about our image at the table. Is that I think against most players, getting 10s in here would make a lot of sense because they have seen what we've been up to in the last few hands. At the same time, though, this is a 42-30 who hasn't been 3-betting at all at this table, and also probably isn't paying attention to the image nearly as closely as anyone else at the table is. So with that in mind, I certainly would prefer here just to call as opposed to 4-bet. Now, if Habs for life here, if he was to 3-bet us, then we'd be absolutely thrilled to get 10s in. One final note about the previous hand on table 2 is on the ace-9-9 board, Zeitrick folded almost instantly when we c-bet. I would actually put a note down that I would not expect him to be making bluffs and 3-bet pots at me at all, based on the timing of how fast that he folded. This is sort of interesting because I think I would make a lot more of these notes that are not concrete, but what I expect them to do in the future based on what they've done with incomplete information. And certainly there, I don't know exactly what he called with. He could have made a very loose call with King Jack or something like that he had an easy fold with. But at the same time, for him to take 0 seconds in folding pretty much, I think it's a nice spot to take a note and expect him really not to be bluffing us all that much. Okay, back to table 1, sorry. Jolly Joker ends up c-betting, we make a call. Pretty standard spot. Also a spot where we just don't expect him to be bluffing all that much. And even if he is, we pretty much have to say that good play. We can't really do all that much about it. He makes a good bluffer if he has a semi-bluff with 9-10 suited or King Jack of spades or something like that. Then it's a good play. There's nothing much else we can do about the hand, though. It is certainly interesting, though, that really was the one player at this table that I wouldn't feel comfortable getting 10s in with. Against any other player, getting 10s in there would have been an absolute slam dunk. Eric ends up opening King 8 offsuit, and I'm not sure what the reason for this is, other than the fact that, like we talked about, maybe he was thinking, wow, I've been so tight on table 3 that I need to open it up a little bit. I just don't... King 8's just, it's way too weak. We can find some other situations where we want to be opening it up. On table 2 here, we raise 10s, we get led into on the flop. It's a situation where a call is very, very simple. It's too thin to raise for value here. Plus he can be bluffing a lot of the time, so I want him to continue with bluffs. Plus we have the 10 of diamonds here, so it's just a really easy situation too. It's a really very easy situation just to call. Based on our image with ace-jack here on table 1, I think this is a good fold that he makes. Simply because I think that with our image, we're not going to be able to bluff as freely with this hand as we would otherwise. So therefore, once our bluffs are taken out of the way and we only have value, it's just simply not strong enough to call for value. Table 2, another donk and really easy call again. Eric actually on table 3 opts to bet twice with King 8, and it's sort of compounding the same mistakes. One bet is fine, but against a fish like this that's playing 33-0, we never really expect him to even fold a 9 on the turn, so it would take 3 streets for us to even get him off a 9. I guess really we could only get him off 7-8 suited or 6-7 suited on the turn, which really isn't enough to make it worthwhile. So I would have given up on the turn, and like we said before, I definitely would not have c-bet. And finally with 10s, I really think because players can't get really thin value, even when they should be betting something like King-Queen, even like Queen-Jack a decent amount of the time, or even like a hand like Ace-Queen, when they aren't always betting those sort of hands, then we just simply have to check back because there's really he doesn't have a calling range really here. I don't think he's going to call with a hand like 8s or 7s. So just a really easy check back. And for some weird reason, he played kings like that. He just called, so obviously Eric immediately goes to the notes, which is excellent. I definitely hammer that home through all my students that you need to consistently go to your notes over and over again. And Eric did a good job here.